This video brought to you by Salesforce Docs. Welcome to Record Access, part of the Who Sees What series. These videos provide the basics on visibility and data access in Salesforce. We've given our users access to the organization by setting IP ranges and login hours. We've granted them access to objects through profile permissions. And we've set our organization-wide default sharing settings. Now it's time to talk about roles and the role hierarchy. The role hierarchy is a way to extend access to records when org-wide sharing settings have been set to anything more restrictive than public read-write. Before we get into the role hierarchy, let's review the current setup at AW Computing. So far, we have two profiles in use. We created a custom profile and assigned it to all of our inside sales reps, and everyone else was assigned the standard user profile. And we've set our org-wide defaults, which determine the access users have to records they don't own. Let's go into detail. Since the org-wide defaults for opportunities are private, users cannot see each other's opportunities. Only the user who owns the record can view it or see it in reports. However, at AW, the sales managers need to see opportunities that their teams are working on, so they can run reports and analyze the sales pipeline. Sales operations work on opportunities with both the inside sales reps and the managers, so they need to see all opportunities. You can use the role hierarchy to open up record access when the org-wide default is set to anything more restrictive than public read-write. The hierarchy at AW Computing should look something like this. Sales ops are at the top level, so they can see records owned by roles beneath them. The sales manager can see all records below them, and beneath the managers are the inside sales reps. Since opportunities are private, the role hierarchy lets us open up access in one of three ways. For each role, we can choose one of the following. No access. In essence, this maintains the org-wide default of private. People in this role are not able to see opportunities they do not own. We'll use this for the inside sales rep role. View only. People in a role can view opportunities, regardless of ownership. We'll choose this option for the sales manager role. Or we can choose view and edit. Those in a role can view and edit opportunities, regardless of ownership. This is the option we'll pick for the sales ops role. Let's take a look at this in our demo org for AW Computing. We're going to set up the role hierarchy so that everyone has access to the records they need. The role hierarchy is located in the setup pages under Users, Roles. The role hierarchy is already partially set up for us. All the VP level roles are under the CEO, giving the CEO access to all records owned by anyone in those roles and any roles under the VPs. We see that the inside sales reps are under the US Sales Manager role. Let's check the access settings for the inside sales reps. In the Opportunity Access area, we choose Users in this role cannot access opportunities they do not own. Since the org-wide default for cases is also private, the same three options are available. For the inside sales reps, we choose View access to cases, since it's helpful to them to know whether or not a customer is having an issue. Now let's check the sales manager role. We make sure they have view access to opportunities, so they can see all the opportunities below them in the hierarchy, and view access to cases as well. Now let's add a new role for sales operations. Click Add Role, fill in the labels, and click the lookup icon in the Reports To field and select the VP of Global Sales. We want sales operations to be able to view and edit all opportunities owned by any users beneath them in the hierarchy, so we choose the Edit option for opportunity access. It will be useful for sales ops to see cases associated with accounts or opportunities they are working on. So we select View for case access and save. Now we assign Alan Wong and Tony Jenkins to this role. And save. Going back to the role hierarchy, we move the U.S. Sales Manager under Sales Ops. All roles beneath the Sales Manager will move as well. Edit the U.S. Sales Manager. In the Reports To field, use the Lookup button to choose Sales Ops. And we see that the entire hierarchy from U.S. Sales Manager on down has been moved under the Sales Operations role. And we're done. We've set up the role hierarchy and granted the proper record access. Let's see these settings in action with Alan Wong, one of our employees in Sales Ops. If Alan's profile grants him create, read, edit, and delete permissions on the opportunity object, and the org-wide defaults are set to private on opportunities, then we can grant him any of the 3 options to opportunity records below him in the hierarchy. If we change Alan's profile to grant only create and read, and leave the org-wide defaults the same, the role hierarchy offers us the same options. However, even if we choose View and Edit, Alan is unable to edit opportunities since his profile does not grant him that permission. Remember, the role hierarchy cannot grant a user more access than they have through their profile permissions. If Alan's profile grants full cred on the opportunity object, and the org-wide defaults are set to public read-only on opportunities, Alan can see records owned by other users, and if those owners are below him in the hierarchy, the role settings provide us with 2 options, View or View and Edit. The No Access option does not appear since the role hierarchy can only open up access to records. It cannot restrict record access to less than what is granted through the org-wide defaults. If we change Alan's profile to grant only create and read access and leave the org-wide defaults the same, then he has read-only access to opportunities. The org-wide defaults and the role hierarchy cannot grant him edit access. The View and Edit option is available but doesn't apply to Alan, since he doesn't have edit permissions on his profile. If Alan's profile grants full cred and the org-wide defaults are set to public read-write, then the role hierarchy here is not necessary. Alan already has access to all opportunities through his profile and the org-wide defaults. If we change Alan's profile to grant only create and read, and the org-wide defaults are set to public read-write, then he has access to all opportunities, but only the ability to read them, since the org-wide defaults and the role hierarchy don't grant more permissions than the profile. To learn more about visibility and access, check out all the titles in this video series. You can also search for these topics in Salesforce Help. And come join us on the trail at trailblazer.salesforce.com.